I am the tax man, and I'm really fired up today. A couple of reasons why I'm fired up. One is there's all this stuff going on that really fires me up. People going against our Constitution. I can't stand it. But anyway, that's why I'm fired up. But also, I get all fired up like that because I drank a lot of coffee.
And why did you drink a lot of coffee?
Because we're in Lent, and every Friday on Lent, and we record the show on Friday. I go to today. We did the Stations of the Cross in the morning at 6 a.m. So I get up at 6 a.m. and I go to church, and I drink a lot of coffee.
How long does it take?
The Stations probably takes half an hour, maybe 25 minutes, something like that. It's really, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of like reading the Bible to me in that it speaks to you. No matter where you are, when you read it, it speaks to you. But anyway, that's why I'm all fired up, and I love Lent, and it's a great time of year. But this is the Mr. Know-It-All segment.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All, the segment where attorney Steven Leahy gives us his infinite wisdom on all things taxes, but this time it's a little different.
It's a little different because I did something odd today, and that we took a vote, okay, and I asked for opinions about what we should talk about, and the vote was 2-1. I guess I voted for
unanimous.
Unanimous that I should talk about debt consolidation, and the question would be: is bankruptcy an option to debt consolidation? The answer's yes. Okay, we're done. No. Okay. So,
that was easy.
The answer is
thank you, everybody.
It can be a option. What's my basic legal answer, Deborah?
It depends.
It depends is correct, because sometimes debt consolidation can work if and again, maybe it's because where I sit that I don't see it work for people, because it's the people that it doesn't work for that will turn to bankruptcy as a remedy. And so there are different ways. So, for instance, I saw a woman yesterday who came in. She's been in this debt consolidation. She is on Social Security, very limited income, and she's paying more than $500 a month, which is over 25%, almost 33% of her income, to this debt consolidation. To what end? I don't know what the end was, because if she would be able to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy and walk away from her debt. Now, remember, there's two types of protection offered by the federal government under this term bankruptcy. And if you think of the bankruptcy code as a book, and like every other book, it's divided into chapters. The first one that comes available, the first type of bankruptcy that comes available to individuals, falls under Chapter 7, and the title of Chapter 7 is liquidation. So what happens under a Chapter 7 liquidation is all your assets above a certain level of exemptions allowed by law are taken from you and sold, and then the proceeds of that sale are used to pay your creditors, all or a portion of what their claims are. Now, in this case, this woman, she had no assets. They have been used. She rents her apartment. She has an old car. Really doesn't have savings or anything like that, and so Chapter 7 will work for her, and it would it would save her from paying that $500 a month that she needs to live on. She's telling me she's eating bologna sandwiches every day. Okay, so this is not a way to live when you can get some relief. Now, she had the same thing that most of us do. Well, I don't want to file bankruptcy. I feel like I should pay my creditors. Okay, so I told her two things. One is you can do a Chapter 13 and pay your creditors, and if you feel like paying them, or you can pay creditors that you feel morally obligated to pay. My favorite example, and I gave it to her, is Abraham Lincoln. Remember now, Honest Abe filed for protection under the bankruptcy laws.
And he would be honest with you that he did it.
Yes, he would. Because I always tell people you have two types of obligations, at least two. One is your legal obligations, that if you don't follow your legal obligations, they can sue you and take action against you and start taking things away from you. But you also have moral obligations. These moral obligations, the law can't help you with. If my legal obligations, I can file for protection under the bankruptcy laws, protect myself from these legal obligations, and move on with my life. But if I feel I have a moral obligation to pay somebody, I can still pay them. And in Abraham Lincoln's case, he did pay them. It took him many years to pay everybody, but he did. He went back and paid them because he's Honest Abe, and he felt a moral obligation to pay, and he did. And you can too. But some people don't feel the moral obligation to pay, like, for instance, a Visa card that they at a 26% that they've been paying for years and have repaid that loan 100 times over, and it never goes away. So you might not feel a moral obligation to pay them, but you need to protect yourself from the legal obligations so you can live. So anyway, that's what I think. And so that consolidation can work for some, but you have alternatives, and you should probably call me if you want to find them out. So anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you were looking to get a question answered, you go right over to our Trust Radio Network Facebook page, or you go to the Opem Tax Resolution Facebook page, or you can go over to watchtalkradio.com, chicagotaxteam.com. You can call Opem Tax Resolution 312-664-6649, or visit chicagotaxteam.com. Did I say that twice? I did. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there are multiple avenues, just like the bankruptcy issue. Well, there's a lot of ways of getting your question answered. So call attorney Steven Leahy today, 312-664-6649. Stay tuned, listen to our sponsors, and come back here on AM 560. The Answer.